Okay, welcome back, design students. As you can see, I've created my cross pieces. How did you do creating yours? So I'm going to delete this one so I can show you how I did it. I started with the cube. I used my scale tool to scale it in about the same width as everything else, and then I scaled it down, and then I moved it into place. And then I scaled it out a little bit more, so it was basically the width of the chair. And then I rotated it into place so it matches the angle of the other things. Now I want to move this forward a little bit, and I want to adjust it a little bit more, but to move it forward, it would be helpful if my move tool was aligned with the angle of the object here, the rotation of it, since I have rotated it. So to make that happen, you double click on the tool itself to bring up the tool settings, and you change your axis orientation to object. And now it moves along with the orientation of the rotation of the object. I know it's a little confusing. And then, of course, all I did to do the one in the back here was shift and drag a copy. And if you need to adjust the width, you can select the object, switch to face mode, and grab the top face or the bottom face and adjust it a little bit, which is what I did. This one is simply a copy of this one, and it's rotated a little differently. Actually, that one needs to be adjusted. Now, if you rotate your objects and you need to adjust them in a very fine degree, you're going to need to double-click the rotation tool and make sure that step snap is turned off. We did have it turned on at one point. And so that's how I created my cross pieces. Now we can rename these. Let's rename them. Let's name them, which one is that? Cross piece 01. And I could double click each of these and rename them, but there's a really nice feature in Maya up here in the Modify menu, and it is Search and Replace Name. So let's select the cross piece name and go to Modify, Search and Replace Name. And that brings up this menu here, and we want to replace P cube, so we're going to search P cube, and we're going to replace it with cross piece. And click Apply. Actually, let's click All. Because nothing else is named anything else here, P cube, so boom. And that does it. That saves us a lot of time. Now, to finish up the frame of the chair, before we create the cushions, we're going to do a couple of things. First off, I want to delete any unnecessary geometry. So let's select our cross pieces, all of them. And you can do that here as well. You can select one and then hold down Shift and click the last one, and that selects all of them. And then we're going to go to Display, Hide Unselected. And that hides everything else in the scene. The reason we want to do that is because for each one of these, we want to delete the end faces since they will not be visible at all. Now, the reason we didn't do that on some of the other objects is because we wanted them to look like they were sort of screwed together a little better. These are just different, so let's go ahead and delete all the end faces. Each time you switch, you have to switch back to object mode. And to delete something, you simply push delete on your keyboard. Now, it used to matter a lot about deleting unseen geometry because your computer had to render it, but with the current renderers, I'm not sure if that's still the case. Okay, now while we've got everything else hidden, let's select each one, switch to edge mode, and bevel those edges like we did before. And try to be consistent. Remember, we were using 0.3 and 4 segments. Okay, now that we've done that, we can bring everything back. To do that, we're going to go to Display, Show All, and we now have the frame for our chair. And in the next video, we will put the bend in the back pieces here and begin to create the seat cushion. And I'll see you then.